Today we are talking about the Leica Visoflex 2 for the Leica M240, M246 and MP. We will talk about how I got mine, what I use it for, and what are the pros and cons of this camera accessory. First things first, what exactly is a Leica Visoflex? Shortly explained, the Visoflex is a small digital rangefinder option that you can mount on the hard shoe of your camera. And it shows you the exact same image that your live view will show you. It can be used for more accurate focusing. It has exposure simulation, so you can dial in your settings right on the spot. And you can also photograph from much more challenging angles, as the Visoflex has a tilting feature that allows you to place the camera low and look into the rangefinder from above. Different generations of the Leica Visoflex exist, and they not only differ in their appearance, but also in the connectivity for the different Leica models. Some Visoflexes are round, some are square, and they have all different tech specs, as the newer Visoflexes have a more higher megapixel count in the display that shows you the image. So you need to be aware, not every Visoflex is compatible with every Leica M. As mentioned, the Visoflex 2, which is the round one, is only compatible with the M240, the M246 and the MP. And newer models use different Leica Visoflex, but you can look up the compatibility on the Leica homepage. One topic that really excited me was using the Visoflex for true black and white photography. This sounds a bit strange, but let me explain. On this Sunday evening I drove to a near mountain as I wanted to catch the evening sunlight while the weather was still nice. And so before starting my journey, I opened the settings on my camera and switched it from color photography to the monochrome mode with the simulated yellow filter. And even before I started my trip, while walking to my car, I needed to stop, pull out my camera and make a photo of this scenery. It's a simple composition with a direct separation of light and dark surfaces. I like the triangular shape the light forms around the outside and inside the garage, and the fact that a triangle points towards my car. It's simple, but it works. The next set of photos shows the view from two locations on the mountain that I used by paragliders in the summer. Due to the low-hanging sunlight, I got a good separation from the shaded foreground and the bright mountains on the other side of the valley. When photographing black and white, you only focus on the bright and dark spots and the overall contrast of your image, as color doesn't really matter. And because I could see like the finished end result live on the spot through the viewfinder, I could dial in my settings much more precisely to get the desired contrast, rather than shooting a color image and then manipulating it in post. All in all, the photos felt much more true to original black and white images instead of color photos that got manipulated afterwards. As mentioned, if you're shooting true black and white, you will expose much more differently than if you're shooting a color image. As in color images, you mostly want to get a middle to like a bit more brighter exposure to get all the detail and the different colors. And in black and white photography, this doesn't really matter. You can get away much more with like crushing highlights, crushing blacks, and with much more extreme contrasts. And so seeing the image live on display, you can go much more bold with your settings on location as if you would manipulate it back on your computer. How I got my Visoflex and what am I using it for? A couple of weeks back, I wanted to visit my friend David in the city of Heidelberg. As he is the new owner of the newly opened Leica store Heidelberg, I wanted to visit him and take a look around his shop. So I went there, talked a bit with the staff and looked around the store and see what they had in stock. At first, I only wanted to buy a soft release button in the brass finish as it would match the different battle scars that my Leica M already has, because it started to brass on the edges and I thought that would match it pretty good. And I also like the bigger surface area for your trigger finger better from the soft release than from the regular button that the camera has. And while looking around, I also noticed that I had a Leica Visoflex suitable for my M240 used in stock. And so, after talking a bit to the staff, I got mine for around 150 euros, which is a pretty good deal as the Visoflex 2 usually goes for around 200 euros used on eBay. One quick side note that I noticed while editing this video: if you want to get an even cheaper version of the Leica Visoflex, you can go out and buy the Olympus VF2. Because Leica didn't produce the Visoflex by itself and rather collaborated together with Olympus to produce this product, the VF2 is physically the exact same product than the Leica Visoflex. So if you want to save a couple of euros and don't really mind if your Visoflex has the brand name Leica on it or not, you can go out and buy the Olympus VF2 for an even cheaper price. And after buying these two things, I headed out and walked a bit around the city of Heidelberg. While I was there also was the Christmas market in Heidelberg. And as it got dark, I popped on the Visoflex onto my Leica and started shooting. And I immediately noticed the advantage of the live exposure simulation for taking my images in these challenging lighting situations. And in the following days after, the Visoflex stayed most of the time on my Leica M because I wanted to try it out and test it to its limits. After those mentioned trips, I shot the Visoflex for 3 more weeks, almost daily, and now I have a conclusion for you what I think about this accessory. The first question that popped in my mind is, do you need a Visoflex? And the answer, in my opinion, is definitely no. In my personal opinion, you should only consider picking up a Visoflex if one or all of the 3 following things apply to your needs. First, it's nice to have when you are using adapted lenses on your Leica M that don't have a rangefinder coupling. So the Visoflex is then a perfect alternative to get accurate focusing, as the rangefinder is pretty much useless if you don't have a coupling for the focusing. And you can only use it to judge the framing. The second element is, if you, like me, wanted to shoot true black and white images and get the exposure right directly in camera. This is a huge step up while shooting, and yes, I know you can already preview the black and white image on your back display with live view, but for me personally, I like the experience much more looking through a viewfinder than always holding the camera in front of me and looking at the live view. It's a much more comfortable way of shooting. And the third, which is a huge point in my opinion, as it also applies to me, if you have problems with your eyesight. Normally, I need to use glasses while shooting or working outside, and for this problem, the Visoflex has a variable diopter setting, so you can dial in the sharpness of the image according to your different needs. So if you have problems with your eyesight or simply want to use your camera without glasses, pick up a Visoflex, change the diopter settings to your needs, and you're good to go. And as said, this is my own opinion. You can like it or you can not like it, that's up to you. If you have like a more controversial opinion, you can write it down in the comment section and I will happily discuss with you. And in the end, it's really up to you if you need this accessory or if you don't need this accessory. And yeah, that's all I have to say about it.